Edward Pritchett joined our company in 2010, and his agency now does anywhere between $3.5 to $4 million of production on a monthly basis, and that's with over 500 writers.
You know, right out of the gate was a good producer, started building right away, was our very first new agent mentor, and is back and forth with Marshall Whalen being the largest organization in the company right now.
Edward Pritchett is like a brother, a father, a best friend. He is the most caring, giving person, and he always has a good word of advice.
In 3 lifetimes, I couldn't express my gratitude for what he's given me.
I think he's one of the finest human beings I've ever met in my life, and I've met a lot of people in my life.
He's my hero. I hope that I know him for eternity.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, stand up and help me welcome Advisory Board member, Mr. Edward Pritchett.
Thank you. What did you want to be when you grew up? There it is, that infamous question. You've heard it, I've heard it. We all still ask ourselves that question, probably on a monthly basis. Danny Young probably still asks himself that question. Why? Why do we ask ourselves a question that Michelle Obama aptly called one of the most pointless questions we can ask a child? Somewhere in our long-forgotten past, there was this pinnacle we were taught that when we reached it, we would be done, complete, finished. I think we can all laugh now. We know that there is no such thing as that point. So what is the point? The point of the journey to the peak of the mountain that has a base on the other side. 11 years ago, I woke on a futon in an old small bungalow in North Asheville that had a hard time holding heat. Out in the driveway sat a green 15-passenger van, not a cool Matthew McConaughey kind of van, all right? This was a broken down van that was not cool. It was my everyday vehicle. It was the only vehicle that the bank didn't want to repossess. I was depressed. I was frustrated, I was mad, because I was asking myself that question of what did I want to be when I grew up? And my current answer was I had grown up to be an insurance agent. Actually, let me be clear. I had grown up to be an unsuccessful insurance agent. In December of 2008, 3 years after college and a short engineering career, I thought that this guy who had defined himself as an engineer, as a successful Yale graduate, as a businessman, would take the insurance world by storm with a captive insurance agency. I had not been prepared for the Great Recession, and I thought, maybe insurance will be better than this. So I took a class, passed the test, and boom, a week later, I was an insurance agent. Over the next 2 years, I felt like I tried everything to make myself a good, successful insurance agent. I believed in the product. I had seen what it did for my family when my mother had unexpectedly passed away in 2005. What I did not know at the time was that I was in process. I was in the crucible. I was on a journey to becoming. This is the time that we do not like to acknowledge. Everyone loves to talk about the mountaintops, the victories, the success. But none of those things are ever possible, ever able to manifest without the journeys through the valleys, the defeats, the failures. On that cold March day, 11 years ago, I was ready, so ready to give up, throw in the towel. I mean, what is the point to just be constantly broke, owing everyone, never able to do the things that you were told as a child that you could do if you just worked hard? The things that you saw the other families doing as a teenager and a young man in college, why did they get to be successful, impactful, wealthy? Was it that life wasn't fair like we've all been told? Had I just gotten the wrong end of the fair stick? That day in March was not a special day. It was just one day. Like any of the other 30,000 days that we all have on average to live, full of our greatest hopes and our worst fears. The one right thing I chose to do that day was to keep pressing on my journey to become. Little did I know that this year was a year of new becoming for me. The summer of 2010, I convinced my then girlfriend and now beautiful wife, Rebecca, to take a chance on a down and out insurance agent. Somehow, I convinced her to let me leave that little bungalow on which I owed my roommate quite a bit of back rent. I've paid him back since. And come stay in her nice, warm, and cozy house. This is when I learned how to be a salesman. It is connection and the belief of others that can help us realize the greatest strengths that we have within us. I'm so thankful that God placed her in my life at that moment to help me realize that the reason I was not becoming what I thought I should already be was because I wasn't applying the principles that I had been taught my entire life by my mother and father from a very early age. The principles of success, which are universal, whether you believe them or not, act on them or not, they're consistent, just as consistent as physical laws like gravity. If you drop an apple, it'll fall. You combine belief with consistent, systematic effort, following a path that has led others to success, and you will find success. As that year progressed, I started looking for my right path. I thought it might be back in the world of engineering, and I was thrilled to find an opening at the new Kia Motors plant that was being built in Georgia. I interviewed and made it past the first couple of rounds. I was so hopeful that I was going to be back in my life of engineering, back on track. I was going to get a free Kia to boot. No offense to Kia, but thankfully I got a call from my angel. Her name was Beth, and she set me up with an interview with one Casey Watkins. The decision on the engineering position was going to take another 2 months, so I had some time, but I wasn't making an income. So I had to figure out something to do. How could I still use my insurance license to at least help Rebecca pay some of the bills? I mean, that is the least I could do, right? So in October of 2010, I told Casey, yes, I would take some leads. I would make some sales. Casey says that I didn't say much, I just took action. However, I think I didn't say much because I didn't want to give it away that this was just a pit stop for me, all right? I was going back to engineering. I just wanted to keep my girlfriend happy for just long enough by showing her I had gainful employment, all right? I came to Symmetry and I thought I was an engineer. I thought I was a good, well, at least an okay boyfriend. I knew I was a failed insurance agent looking to make an exit. What I did not realize was that I had come to a place in my journey of becoming that put together 3 things that John Maxwell says always leads to success: purpose, dreams, and opportunities. Another way to put this is the good definition of luck, when preparation meets opportunity. Where most people get lost is they don't see life struggles as their preparation, and they fail to realize and take advantage of the opportunities right in front of them. Look around, take stock in this moment. Realize when those things are coming together, because it doesn't look like success when we first step in. Stepping into the culture here at Symmetry that was created by Brendan Ellison, Casey Watkins, and Brian Pope gave me a precious thing: opportunity. The opportunity to decide who I was becoming and not to just be dragged by the constantly flowing river of life. We are all becoming something with every breath we take, every thought we think, every decision we make. In this very moment, you are becoming something different than you were in the moment before. because you are doing something you have not done before. In the moments after this, you will continue to decide who you become by the actions, thoughts, and words you speak that relate to this very moment. There is no moment, no instant, no second when the river of life stops flowing. You are becoming right now. So the question is not, what do you want to be when you grow up, when you become? The question we should all ask is, am I happy with what I'm becoming? As Sean Acor says, happiness is the joy we feel striving after our potential. As we choose to become, let that be a guide, a guardrail to keep you continually becoming something that allows you to feel the joy of what you want to be, the happiness that is within you that just wants to get out, the oak that is in the acorn. Over the last decade, I have become a husband, a father, an uncle, a friend, a mentee, a mentor, an engineer, an entrepreneur, a world traveler, a multiple business owner, a millionaire, an investor, a philanthropist, and a Puerto Rican. I can only guess at what will be on that list a decade from now. But one thing I know is that I will let happiness in my becoming keep me on the right path. My hope for you today is that you allow happiness to drive your becoming in this moment and in each one after in this journey of a lifetime that we are all on. Level yourself up. Enjoy your journey of becoming. Thank you.